the best form of justice that Mohbad can get may not necessarily come from the police or courts. It will come from you and I, Nigerians. It will come by refurbishing or overhauling the same institutions and system that failed to protect the life in the first place. Look, if we do not pay attention to the cause, we will be treating the symptom and leaving the cause intact. And that will mean postponing the evil day. Because, sweetheart, there are more than 200 million Mohbads in Nigeria as we are talking. I am a Mohbad. You are a Mohbad. Everybody in Nigeria is a potential Mohbad. And what makes it even more interesting, if something like this can happen to Mohbad, who is not just an regular everyday Nigerian, a person that has more than 1 million followers on Instagram, a celebrity of international repute, could be subjected to the kind of torture and torment until culminating in his eventual death. Imagine what happens to any commoner. Go to prisons, go to detention facilities. Injustice is injustice, no matter what shape or forms it comes. When people are flogged out of polling units during elections and are not allowed to vote, it is also injustice. And if you pay attention to one injustice, you must pay attention to the other. Because the main issue that leads to what we have today is a dysfunctional system. Look, everything that happened to Mohbad and what we are struggling for today could have been prevented if institutions of state were functioning optimally. Anybody who is trying to separate what happened to Mohbad from the failed governance system and institutions that we have would be being very disingenuous. And I will tell you why. That is why you must pay attention, because the mother that gave birth to a bad law enforcement system is a bad government. And if you fail to fix the bad government and you are paying attention to the justice, it then means we are just postponing the evil day, where we'll begin to trend another hashtag of justice for this. Today it is Mohbad, tomorrow it will be who? Because today's victims are yesterday's survivors. The dead can no longer die. The next set of persons to fight for justice for will be between the living, which is you and I. May the victim card not fall on us.
Amen.
Let me tell you the reason why. Let us interrogate the actions of the police. I think we should. Mohbad submitted a petition to the police on the 27th of June at the FCID in Alagon here in Lagos. Now the police say, the question we should be even asking is, if Mohbad had not died, would there be an investigation to that petition by now? Let us know.
I don't think so.
Now the police came out and have told us that Mohbad was invited and he did not show up. Very interesting. A person who was alleging fundamental threats to his life, and then that the alleged perpetrator had the nerves to write a counter petition alleging defamation. A boy who came, anybody who looked at Mohbad, any person who had the slightest human psychology, the smallest experience of which law enforcement agents should be trained to have. Anybody who saw Mohbad within the last period of his life would know that this is a person who was living his life in horrific terror, in unprecedented fear and anxiety. For a boy to be in London, out of this country, and requesting for extra security, imagine what he was facing on the homeland. Anytime I see that video of when he was standing up from that wheelchair, I have not been able to get that image or that scene off my mind. Because it shows a boy, and then the law enforcement agent, if he said he was called and he did not come, what did you do? Remember when a certain Nigerian politician or presidential candidate was saying we have to make the police force responsible and responsive. If we had a responsible and responsive law enforcement agent, if when you called him, what was the next step that was taken? Why did he not come? Should have been the next. Was a letter taken to his residence inviting him and somebody acknowledged, so that you find out? Because mainly looking at him, I would have presumed that probably this person should have been put in protective custody pending the determination of the petition. Did you approach the court to get an order of interim injunction or whatever, a restraint order against whoever that was alleged until the petition was determined? Did you bring in the media as you usually do to say that so person of interest was called upon after a petition, he did not show up? At least that alone brings some kind of spotlight on the issue, and it goes a long way to protect the person. Because I was on Auntie Yabo Joe's live yesterday, and she said the police said that they are providing protection for the wife and the son. Good. It is a good thing you are providing. Very wonderful. But what about the fulcrum of the matter? Who approached you with a petition? What protection was given to him? It is important that we know. Now then, Fast forward to 12th of September, Tuesday, he had died. Immediately the death of Mohbad filtered on the internet. It was like the floodgates of hell was unleashed. Videos from every corner. Now we are hearing a landlord from the area saying that he was allegedly to be buried on the same night, but they resisted and he was buried the next day. It gave ample time that if we had a responsible and responsive law enforcement agent, somebody should have been able to connect the dots between the videos that were circulating to the fact that this body, this disease, is a person of interest, and immediately an instruction should have been given to hold on, to maintain status quo until the autopsy is carried out. But today now we have to deal with an incident where we have to go and exhume a body after how many days? So we are unfortunately seeking for justice from the same institutions that failed to protect the life in the first place. Because the primary responsibility of government is the protection of life and property, and not fighting for justice for the dead and their families. So it is better to protect life than fight for justice for the dead. Because as it is now, one of the major justices I am praying for Mohbad is the fact that he should even be exhumed so that the poor boy can be buried decently. Properly, like a human being. Than being cramped into a casket like somebody who had no impact or lived no life. I think that is the most uncharitable thing to do. And he deserves that kind of justice. Then now, they say we want to hold a peaceful walk. And then they come out and say that there is an intelligence report that it will be hijacked by criminals. And every time we continue to hear this line, but sweetheart, my dear law enforcement, the right to peaceful assembly and protest is a fundamental human right in every democracy. And when you have intelligence that it is likely to be hijacked by criminal, the responsibility and the onus is on you to work on that intelligence and clamp down on the criminal criminal gang to ensure that that process is not truncated, rather than truncating or usurping the entire protest or peaceful walk for the interest of a criminal few. Just like maybe lawmakers are trying to hold a sitting to deliberate on a bill, and they say there is a security risk, and so therefore they should not hold it. So we are at the mercy of the criminal elements in the society. So when decent and good people want to take any action, they have to always consider if evil people want to do something. And if they really want to do, we the good ones will have to hold on. That is the kind of system that we have enabled. So it is left for Nigerians to decide whether we really want to overhaul this system. If we want to really fight for justice for Mohbad, it must be a situation where you ensure that in the future, what killed the father does not kill the son. If you address the symptom and leave the problem, we are only postponing the evil day. We are only postponing the evil day. Tomorrow, it will be another person. Even the police and law enforcement themselves, they are also victims of human rights violation. The only difference is that they wear uniforms and they carry guns. Look at the road safety officer who was killed and crushed between trailers. What is a road safety officer standing on the road in a 21st century society? Where in other crimes, camera will capture you, whether you violate any, they come and serve you paper. So when you see what is going on, look at today now. The justice for Mohbad has transcended ethnicities and tribe. It is no longer a matter of Yoruba. In fact, Lagos State, where he was born and died, have not been able to hold a peaceful gathering for him. It began in Warri. I saw videos from, I think, Warri, Delta, Abeokuta, Ibadan, Ekiti, Asaba, Abuja. But Lagos, we have not been able to do any. If Nigerians can ensure, it is not shouting that you want justice for Mohbad. It is during elections that we would know whether you reinforce the same system that failed him in the first place. Then we come back to begin to cry foul. It happened during the NSAS. I kept shouting, I kept screaming. Videos are there, I entered. But of course, I don't have a voice. Who am I? We knew that this thing is going to go south. If you understand the criminal structure, the sophisticated criminal structure that you fight in Nigeria, if you try to fight corruption, it is like walking against the floodgates of hell. They play.
Just the play.
So you will have to ensure that we come together as a people. Don't let anybody tell you, whilst we are fighting for justice for Mohbad, know that injustice is injustice. And the best way to fight injustice is tackling the systems that fail us every day. And if we fail to do so, then we achieved nothing, because we'll be waiting for the next victim. So I beg you in the name of God, as we use double factor authentication, I'm not preempting whatever is the process in court or whatever is the process in police, but we must ensure that it goes beyond that to ensure that this justice is sustainable. I don't know whether you understand what I'm saying. So the time is coming as we continue. They have given us 2 weeks. I know Nigerians, it will be overtaken by events and happenstances.
No,
People will become, people have things that are going on in their lives, but do not let anybody make you feel like what you are doing is irrelevant. Your hashtags, your tweets, anything. Maybe we should even say every Tuesday, since he died on a Tuesday, we should have online conversations or whatever it is. There should be a discussion of how to put these systems in order. If not, we will be losing on both sides. Let me leave you with an old Methodist creed that has become the mantra for my life now. It says you do all the good you can to all the people you can, anywhere you can, for as long as you can. Any good you do, the justice you demand for Mohbad is justice for yourself.
Yes.
Justice for a friend is justice for you. Nobody is saved until everybody is saved.
Yes.
Rest in peace, Mohbad. I won't say rest in peace in Mole because your light won't go down. You will continue to shine and illuminate even in death. We love you and may God bless.